Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1 with our reactions to what was a very lovely qualifying session in Austria. Before we get into that though, make sure you hit subscribe because we're going to take a look through all of what happened in qualifying today on Friday. And this is qualifying, of course, for Sunday's race. We'll have the sprint shootout qualifying tomorrow for the race that is also tomorrow, so that's all the fun of the fair there. But yeah, this is qualifying for Sunday's race. Now, the things to notice, because we didn't do upgrade corner on the preview, the main thing, there's lots of little things, but the main thing is that McLaren have brought quite a few upgrades to Austria, and we'll see how they do as we go through the qualifying session, starting with Q1. And the big thing that happened at the start was Bottas had a bit of a spin into turn one. This brought out the red flag. There was a bit of a worry that he wouldn't be able to get the car started again, but he managed to do it and got back to the pits and was able to keep on going throughout the session. Then we get to the main theme of what the qualifying session was today, and that was track limit mania. Mostly on lap corner 9 and corner 10. If you go over the white line with all four wheels, your time is deleted. And this happened to a lot of people. In Q1, main victims were Hulkenberg, Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, Zhou, Sainz. All of them got their lap deleted. At one point, Pierre Gasly got a time deleted, but then got it restored, which I don't think I've ever seen happen ever in my life. So that was a bit mad. Alonso had a fast lap, although I thought he was blocked by Piastri. The stewards looked into it and said, nah, actually that's fine. Don't you worry about it. So that's fine, I guess. The main victims, though, of Q1, Nick de Vries, Kevin Magnussen. It was Logan Sargent in P18, Zhou Guanyu in P17, then Yuki Tsunoda in P16. Going through to Q2, we have even more track limits. Sergio Perez loses his first 2 lap times. Max Alonso and I put Magnussen there, but Magnussen was already out, so it wasn't him. Russell also lost a lap time. Sergio Perez set a lap time good enough to get into Q3 4 times and had each of them deleted, meaning that he would lose his lap and lose his position in qualifying. He will start Sunday's race from 15th after officially not setting a lap, as every single one crossed over the line. Meaning that for the 4th race in a row, Sergio Perez did not see Q3, which is the first time that has happened to a Red Bull driver since 2008. The last time that happened to a Red Bull driver, Lewis Hamilton hadn't won a world title yet. It's a maddening streak that has come to an end here for Sergio Perez, but at least for Sergio, he can say with this one, it wasn't, he wasn't knocked out on pure lack of pace. He had the pace, he just couldn't keep it between the lines, which, isn't the best excuse in the world, but here we are. In P14, it was Valtteri Bottas, who also lost a lap time, which meant he was going to start 13th, but now starts 14th. Piastri is in 13th, Ocon 12th, and then George Russell is in 11th. And George Russell is thanking Sergio Perez so much that he was also knocked out, because no one seems to be talking about how George Russell was knocked out in Q2 there for what I believe is, it's definitely the second sprint weekend qualifying in a row, because he didn't qualify well in Baku. Remember, he was knocked out in Q2. But yeah, not a great result for Russell either, but everyone's eyes are on Perez, so he can stay a bit undercover there. Through the Q3 though, and this was great. This was a really good session. I'm really looking forward to the sprint shootout tomorrow morning. The one in Baku I really enjoyed, just because it's just guys out there all the time doing laps consistently, and just lap times falling and falling and falling, and that's kind of what we saw with this session here towards the end of it, especially with guys trying to get their own gap on the track and set good lap times so that they would just come down like that. It's very good. In the end, let's give you a top 10. So Albon got P10. Another Q3 appearance for Alex Albon, doing fantastically well. Great lap time in the Williams. You should be really happy with that. Gasly got P9. Hulkenberg was in 8th. Now, Alonso in P7 with Stroll in P6. Stroll beating Alonso for the second time this year. Hamilton managed to get into P5. Then Lando Norris, P4, looked on fire all qualifying. Looks really good. Those McLaren upgrades working really well. Also, we know he's good around Austria. We've seen him a few times. Of course, he had that podium at Austria. He's good around here. So, fantastic stuff from Norris. Carlos Sainz gets P3. It was Leclerc in P2. Max Verstappen claims pole position. The gap between Verstappen and Leclerc, 0.048. So close between these guys. Really good stuff. Really loved this qualifying session. Had a lot of fun watching it. My concerns, though, for the race are this. From watching the practice session this morning, the times that the guys put out on the medium tyres, the Ferraris weren't there at all. Red Bull were there, Mercedes were there, Aston were there, Ferrari were not there. As soon as they went to the soft tyres, that's when the Ferrari started to show up. So my prediction for the race from this point of view would be that the Ferraris are going to go backwards. In terms of who's going to go forwards, I think keep an eye on Yuki Tsunoda. His medium lap times looked really good in practice this morning. So I think he's starting 16th on Sunday. He's going to make some good positions up from there. He's the guy to keep an eye on in terms of gaining positions on Sunday. So there you go. That's all we got time for here for this qualifying reaction. We'll be back tomorrow for the sprint shootout reaction as well as the sprint race. Let me know what you thought of this qualifying, and you'll see his general thoughts on sprints in general. At some point I'm going to put a video out on just thoughts on sprints and do I like them, do I not like them, how I think they can be improved, blah, blah, blah. We'll do all that at some other point. That's all we've got time for today. I will see you tomorrow for lovely Sprint Saturday. Yeah!